Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers of Sandy150, and we are on part 5 of this video series on high poly modeling the battle axe. So I just want to take you through some of the issues that you might run into. So if yours looks like mine, or you followed the low poly tutorial perfectly, you'll have something that looks like this. And the problem with this is that creates a five-sided polygon, which is called an n-gon. So how do I know that? Well, I can go to edge mode. I can click on one edge, two edge, 3, 4, 5. A quadrangle is four-sided. This is five-sided. So the problem is when I'm adding edge loops, like what I have been doing, I'll get to this section right here and I can't add any, or it will only go like halfway through. So watch what happens. I'm going to hold the shift key down, right mouse button, go to insert edge loop like we always do. Click on that, and you can notice that it only goes around a certain way, and then until it gets to that five-sided polygon, and then it's like, nope, sorry, that doesn't work. So I'm going to go Control Z back. To fix this, okay, is the first thing you probably want to do, I'm going to hit the Q key, is you want to probably get rid of this edge. Well, you can't really do that because that's supporting this piece right here. Now if it's not supporting it, you can get rid of it and you should be okay. Again, these points right here are occupying the same space. Okay? So that's kind of a problem in itself too as well. So what I could probably do is I would have to separate those two. Let's go into vertex a minute. Okay, so I've got this vertex here, and it's attached, right? It's attached. We all know that. How do we split that vertex up into pieces that we can actually work? So to do that, since this is not attached, this piece right here, if it was attached, we'd have to do something else. But it's not attached. It's free floating. So what I'm going to do is I want to detach that. So I'm going to click on it, hold the space bar down, and go to Edit Mesh and go to Detach right here. Okay. So I'm going to click on it again and move that up. Okay. Click off of it. Just hit the Q key, and then click on it again. Hit the W key and move that down or move that up. So that's part of that. And then now it's detached. Now it's part of that. Now the problem is that it detaches everything. Okay. Okay. So we see that that's part of this. So that can, okay, so yeah, so this is part, you have to figure out what is what. So this part right here, then let's go ahead and select these, right, on the end are supposed to be together. So he's kind of unfolding stuff, you know, trying to figure out what's what. We're going to select those, and we're going to merge to center on those. Edit Mesh, merge to center. Okay, there we go. So now that corner is now part of that piece here that goes all the way back. And let's make sure there's no more rogue vertices, so we don't want a bunch. So when you detach, it detaches a bunch of vertices. So now we have to weld this together again. Okay, so it's kind of a pain in the butt when that happens. So try not to do that. But if it happens, it happens. And this is how you fix it. Edit Mesh, merge the center, and then I don't know if we didn't do anything over here, so we should be okay. Yeah. Alright, so now it's detached. So what I can do now is that this piece right here is not dependent on this line or this edge anymore, so I can get rid of the edge. So I'm going to click on the edge, and I want to do Control Delete. There we go. So it deletes the vertices there, and that's really important to remember. Don't worry about this piece right here now. And then over here we got the same kind of thing going on over here too as well, see? Where it is, excuse me, where it's connected but detached here. So let's go ahead into Vertex. And this right here is a problem area. Let's get underneath here. And it's right here. Okay, so that one, okay? Alright, so what we want to do is detach that one. I'm going to hit the 4 key, see through it, make sure I don't have anything else, because detaching can cause a lot of problems if you do it on something you don't want, because you'll have to merge everything again. So hold down spacebar, edit mesh, detach. So that's detached now. So what you want to do is just click on it and move these pieces up, and you know that's part of that piece there. So I'm going to click on another one and move that up. Click on another one. Don't marquee select. There we go. So click on this one. Alright, so this one here, you gotta just kind of figure it out yourself. This one here is part of this piece right here, and this piece up here we figure out that it's part of that piece, so we're good there. So let's go ahead and get these connected right away. And hold on spacebar, edit mesh, and merge to center, and do the same thing with this one. Merge to center. There we go. And I just hit the G key. Now if the G key doesn't work, you'll have to go back and manually select again. So spacebar, edit mesh, and merge to center. Okay. I like to hit the G key a lot. You probably noticed that. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about this now, whether I'm going to get that placed right again, because I'm going to get rid of it anyway. Because this is what's causing the 5-sided polygon, my n-gon. So I'm going to go in here and click on that edge and control delete. Okay, that is fixed. So everything should now, we can go in there and finish this off. So you can see I'm adding edge loops to everything here. Alright, so I'm on to this one here. So let's go back and try to get this one done. So I got everything fixed. Insert edge loop. And so it goes all the way around, and I click on that, and there you go. It's actually working now. I'm going to go into this one here and just kind of add an edge loop here and here. And this one is not. Let me hit the Q key and go into edge mode. Let me double click on this edge right here and just move it down just a bit so I can see the inside of it. There we go. And so I can add edge loops in there. Okay. Edge loop here, here, and here. Ooh. And there's a problem because that's a triangle, right? Alright, so it's okay. We had the same problem with the one up there. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and manually put it in. It's not an issue or a problem. So to manually do it, let's hit the Q key again and go into selection mode, and let's go to multi-cut. Okay. Okay. Multi-cut. We're going to cut all the way around here. This gets a little tricky. So let's go to here. Okay, goes across that one, and then we're going to continue all the way across there like that. And hit enter. Here we go. Hit the Q key right away so you're not making mistakes here. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Yay. And then we need to end on this piece right here. So go ahead and select it and do one more at the very end. So edge loop tool and an edge loop right here at the end. Okay. That looks good. Look at everything. Make sure everything's looking good. And you're done. Let's go in and look at everything. So just finish the bottom part. I'm going to go Control 1. It's a good feeling. This part was tough. No doubt about it. Let's go in here. Let's go ahead and go to object mode up here underneath the main menu bar and select everything and do this. Do delete by type history and freeze transformations. I don't think we really need to freeze anything, but we got it. And let's hit the 3 key and just double check and go right down the line. Start from the top and just kind of rotate. Let's click on that and hit the F key and just kind of rotate, click off and kind of rotate around and see if you see any creases or anything that looks weird, and just move your way down, because I'll be looking for this stuff too, as you guys know. Okay, everything looks pretty good. Just going right down. Just take a second look at everything. There we go. And just making sure everything smooths out right, because that's really important. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, just about there. That looks really good. Really happy with that. Nice, nice. Okay. All right, that's going to really look really nice when we bake the maps. Okay. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're done with this one. So I want you to select it. Okay. Hit the 1 key again. Right. So it's really important that we save our work now. Looks like we've got another axe in there. So let me go ahead and move that out of the way. That's really acting weird. Okay. Oh, looks okay. Up close. Very strange. Alright, so you can see I have a really nice video card, and it still does some weird stuff. It's like faces on top of faces. Let me double check that, make sure. Nope. Okay, so that's a preview issue, and I've seen that happen with Maya before. Believe it or not, it doesn't really support NVIDIA graphics cards, meaning that they kind of have a lax relationship. They want you to buy the really expensive workstation video cards that they have. So I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud that maybe the engineers want you to buy those video cards, and they do little things like this that cause these preview errors. But there's nothing wrong with your model. So when you get close and you see that, then it could be a problem. So you can watch for those. But everything looks good, so we got that. And the only thing left is the handle. What do we do with the handle? Well, I have to find my handle duplicate, because I have a handle here, and it's not, even though it's the handle, it's not the same handle I did when I actually created this leather strap, so I've got to find that one. So that's not what I'm looking for, because it doesn't fit right, because I made some adjustments to it. So that doesn't fit. So what we're going to do is I duplicated the handle, right, before I extracted all the leather straps. Okay, so this is the one that I actually duplicated, and I asked you guys to do that. So hopefully you did that. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to get those lined up. So that's why I did that. You always duplicate something before you extract. Go back to an earlier save if you didn't do that, or you can go to an earlier save, and that's why you want to save it as sequence and import or export that piece you need. Okay, so to do that, you can go into a previous save, your project save, and find it, highlight it, and just go to File, Export Selection, export it out as an MB file. Okay, that's important, MB. So just like this, give you kind of an idea. So you can have different formats here, but you want the Maya binary. Okay, go ahead and name it like something like handle export. Okay, export it out, and then what you do is you open the scene you want to bring it into, this one here, the one you got everything done, and then go File, Import. So it's really easy to do that. Import, find it, and then import it in, and you're good to go. Okay. So that's why it's so important to do it, save your work as a sequence. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save my work now I'm talking about it. Okay. And I always save in a sequence, so I can always go back and find things, and it saves you a lot of trouble. It really does. So this is the one we're going to work on. So let's move that out of the way. We're not quite finished yet. So that's the one. That's the original, the one that I duplicated. Okay. So I need to have that. And then what I'm going to do, it's very simple, is I'm going to go ahead and let's get back to the center, Control Z, and I'm going to do Control 1. We're going to just highlight it, and from the front view, I'm going to do Control 1 again, and go to Edge Mode. Okay, with Edge Mode on, I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything right here. Okay, and then I'm going to deselect those. Okay, so when I do that, it's going to be difficult because I want to deselect all the pieces that go all the way through, right? And it's going to be kind of hard. But the thing is, I don't have to. Okay, I can just do the top and the bottom. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So just holding the control key. And so I'm just deselecting the top and I'm deselecting the bottom. Okay? And I'll show you what's going to happen here, what we're going to do. Okay? So we're going to get rid of all this other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go Control, Delete. All right. Now that leaves a lot of junk. Let me go back again. Control Z. There you go. So it basically we're getting rid of all of those edges. Okay, when we have to be careful, we have to be super careful. What I could probably do, yeah, I think that's okay. I think we're good. So Control D, what does that do? Control D. Okay, that leaves all that junk there, all those polygons. Instead of edges, let's do polygons. Let's do that. There we go. So let's do polygons. So we did edges, right? We can easily go in here and do convert to faces. Okay, let's try that. So select, convert selection. I love this tool. Convert selection to vertices, to edges, to faces. There we go. Now that's not exactly what I thought it would do, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is go to the front view again and just hold the control key and just kind of highlight that top part like that. Whoa, there we go. That was weird. Okay, that's strange. Control Z back. Okay, we'll try that again. Select, convert selection to faces. Okay, and I'm going to deselect this one. Okay, and hold the Alt key and move it down, and then Control deselect those. Okay, and let's see what happens now. We're going to go ahead and delete those. Delete them. There we go. Cool. All right. So how does that help me? Well, what we're going to do now, why is that angled? That's so weird. Okay, that happened recently. I'll fix that up. Let's go in here. And so let's fix this. So let's go to vertex mode, and it's going to go to wireframe really quick. Okay. And I want to make sure I'm in the 1 key. I accidentally hit that. I'm going to select both of those, hit the 1 key. I'm going to go to vertex mode, select all the vertices here. We're going to do that little trick I showed you with the food can. I'm going to double click on the tool settings, the move tool, translate, and I'm going to go to snap settings. I'm going to click off of retain components settings, spacing, and then click on grid snap, and I'm going to snap it to this part right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and move that down a little bit like that. Okay, now let's do the same thing with the bottom. Okay, let's move that up. There we go, and just meet that one like that. Okay, perfect, awesome. That's what we want to do. All right, so the only problem with this one is this one. Let's move it down again. There we go. We have a vertex, this really bad vertex right here. So what I want to do is click on that vertex and delete it. Just hit delete, and I may not let you delete it. So let's see if we can force it to delete. Sometimes that's kind of a tough one to do. Let's try it again. Delete. There it is. I got it. And this one right here. And delete. There we go. Mine can be a little stubborn sometimes. Click on it and delete it. Make sure you don't have any other rogue vertices. Okay, alright. What's a rogue vertex? I say that a lot. It's a vertex that is just floating around on an edge that's not connected to another edge. Notice that this is connected to another edge, so that's supporting something. But if you have a vertex just hanging out there, that's a floating vertex. That means it's not connected to anything except for that particular edge. It needs to be connected to 2 edges. Okay? Alright, so select this guy right here and just go ahead and move it back up again, and so those meet each other like that. And I'm going to turn off grid snap because that gets in the way, and I'm also going to turn retain component spacing back on and close that. Okay, so these are not welded together, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mass weld around the whole thing, and I see another rogue vertex. How did that happen? Well, let's find out where it is. It's in that one. I thought I'd get rid of that. Okay, let's try it again. Delete it. Are you deleted now? Okay, let's go ahead and select vertices. There we go. Something that I didn't see. That's weird. And click on grid. There we go. Alright, so all the vertices are all good, and then so go ahead and select all of them. Click off and select all. Marquee, select them. And hold the spacebar down and go to Edit Mesh. We don't want to do Merge to Center. This is what would happen. That's not looking good. So click off and Control Z back again. There we go. And so make sure you highlight that, marquee select it, and go to Edit Mesh and go to Merge. So we're just going to merge vertices. Click on the option box. This is important. So option box threshold is 0.001. So if it says 0.01, just add another 0 right there. So it's 0.001 and then merge. There we go. And so now they're merged. Now, to really keep this low poly, we don't need that part in the middle, so we can easily double click on the edge. Okay. Alright, and we can go Control Delete. Now we're back where we started. But this one matches the everything else perfectly. Okay. So I'm going to go back in here and add the other pieces. Control 1. For some reason, my axe got turned around. That's really bizarre. How did that happen? That's so weird. Okay, that's off kilter. It must have happened earlier. I didn't notice it. That's irritating, because everything else is going to be off. So I got to select everything. The whole thing's been rotated somehow. Very strange. Alright, so let's hit the 4 key. And let's go ahead and rotate, mass rotate it. Before I mass rotate it though, select it. I'm going to go ahead and delete by type history, right? Okay. And freeze transformations. And then I'm going to go in and rotate that the best I can. Okay, all together. There we go. Okay, it's still off a little bit. Rotate, you can see it's not perfectly aligned. So let's just do 0, 0 on that one. I think we're getting close. 6.8 maybe. There we go. That looks pretty good. And so I'm going to go ahead and once I do that, make sure everything's lined up still. Okay, that looks good. And let's go ahead and freeze transformations again, and that should be good. So she's all lined up now. I'm not too worried about the blade. It's blinking on and off all the time. There we go. Okay, but everything else looks good. The straps look good. Right. So what do we do now? Well, we select everything. Okay. Well, once we get everything done, then we go into File and Save Scene As. We've done a lot of work. We don't want to lose it now. Save in a sequence. Alright, and then what you do is you select everything, keep your fingers crossed, just kidding, and then hit the 3 key, and it's to see what it looks like when it's all smooth. Okay? Get up close. It's okay. Get up close and check it out. Oh, I forgot to do the top. Yeah. And then just kind of see how it all looks together. Okay. Alright. Straps are looking good. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Nothing's coming through. If anything, there's like a gap right there, and I think that's because the bottom's collapsing. So that's a bummer. So I'm going to hit the 1 key on that. Alright, we know what we need to support these edges down here. So I'm going to add a couple edge loops down here and do a couple things. Alright, so to do that, I'm going to go in here and do Control 1. And let's go ahead and add these edge loops and do some things on this pole, or handle, if you will. And go in here and insert edge loop Alright, and we're going to go ahead and let's insert one close to the top again to support that edge loop too as well, so that doesn't cave in. And then let's go down here, let's support that a little bit right there, and let's support this a little bit right here. There we go, like that. And then go in here and let's support this edge loop right here, like that. Okay. And then underneath like that. So support it one more time with one more. And then on the bottom here, I'm going to hit the F key. That lets me focus on that part. And I'm going to click off, hit the Q key, click off of that and go into face mode. And I'm going to draw the faces here. There we go. And, hit the Q key, click off again. I'm just going to select them one manually because I keep selecting other ones that I don't want. And even if you select them manually, you have to double check, make sure you don't have anything else selected. And look at that, see? Just bad, bad, bad. Hold the control key down, make sure you don't make that mistake. I mean, you're at this point now, we don't want to make any really bad mistakes. Okay. Let's focus on your work. Control E, right? There we go. And we're going to hit the R key, that's the easiest, and just scale that in. Just a little bit, like that. And then I'm going to Control E again, and scale. R key. Hit the R key, and then scale that in. So we've got two supporting edge loops right here too as well. Click off, okay? And then we're going to go to the top and do the same thing. So that's done. Okay, so what we got going on top. Alright, so do the same thing here. Face mode, you can paint. That usually works the best, but sometimes it selects other things, so other faces. But usually I have good, hit the F key, and then rotate around, make sure nothing else selected. In fact, a lot of times I hit the 4 key, you guys know that, just to see, just to look, check. There we go. And 5 key again, and what I'm going to do is do a Control E, and then R for scale. Scale that in a bit. Like that. Control E and then R. Scale that in a bit like that. And there you go. I think we've got it. Now there might be some things we need to do, but let's take a look at what we have now. Let's see if that helps. Alright, so all the edge loops on this, the handle now, look pretty good. So what I'm going to do is select it and just hit the Q key and delete by type history. Okay, I'm going to add everything back again, Control 1, okay, so we can see it. Okay, so now select everything, okay, in object mode. Okay, main menu. Under the main menu is the object mode, and I'm going to click off and click on again, and I'm going to hit the 1 key and then hit the 3 key, and let's click off and then get up close and see how that looks now. Oh, that looks much better. Look at that, straps really follow that. That looks tremendously, a huge amount better. It looks really good. I'm really happy with that. All the way down. And even on the very bottom. Look at that. Very good. Cool. Well, congratulations. You just did it. You just got everything set up. Everything looks really, really good. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and click off here, and we're going to click on it again, hit the 1 key. All right, so this is we're gonna save this, okay, one more time. So this is our final piece. So File, Save Scene As, and this is going to be final. So at the end of this, I put final. There you go. So I know that is the end. Click Save. All right, awesome. And you know, because I don't trust myself or Maya that much, I will go ahead and duplicate this. Control D to protect myself, and make a new layer and put it in that layer. Okay. So when you click on this button, that selects your object and puts it in that layer all at one time. Okay. Now if it didn't work, if you click off and it doesn't unhighlight, then it didn't put it in the layer. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to right click over it and go add selected objects. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay, this is my final piece. Okay. Right. So with that, I'm ready to actually smooth it, like have it high resolution. And so because it looks good, right, I hit the 3 key, I selected everything, hit the 3 key, checked everything, make sure there's no gaps anywhere. Okay, really check it out, make sure everything's okay before you do this. Okay, so I'm going to select everything, go to mesh, and go to smooth, the option box. I'm going to go with 2. Okay, a lot of you have been doing 3 and 4. Don't go that, try not to go that high. Let's see what 2 does. Okay, this is going to take some time. It's trying to figure things out. There's number 2. Alright, good. Click off. Is that enough? Let's take a look. Get up close, make sure everything's smooth and right, everything looks good. Okay, everything looks really good. I'm really happy with that. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Very happy with that. Cool. Alright, let's take a look at the high res mesh. Alright, so that is good. We could probably go higher resolution on the pole, the handle, but I think that's okay. I think that's good. We've got a higher resolution on the straps. Is that going to be a problem, having a different resolution from the straps than it is on the handle? I think we're okay. I think we're good. We're pretty good there, I think. These match up pretty good, really. Yeah, so you see that matches up. It may need some more, but I think it's matching up pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So what you do now is you select everything, and we need to combine it. So combine it. Okay, and then what you want to do is delete by type history and freeze transformations, and there is your high poly hatchet, battle axe. Okay, don't worry about all this weirdness. That's preview. I'm getting up close, and it looks great, so I'm not too worried about that. Go on the other side, make sure there's no issues or problems that you see. Okay, all right, great. Once you smooth something, it unifies it, meaning it goes in there and cleans up geometry that's not so good, and fixes a lot of issues and problems. So when you do a smoothing on a high poly, you really don't have to go back and fix too much with it. I've never had any problems with baking. Okay, with the high poly when I smooth it. Now I have problems with baking with a low poly if you don't triangulate it. Okay, alright, so make sure you triangulate stuff. So that turned out really nice. Very happy with that, and I hope you are proud of your work too as well. That was a lot of work to do the straps, but to physically create those, it's difficult, you know, and you did it. That was a very difficult task to do. So pat yourself on the back and all that. Okay, so that is all done. So what I want to do is again delete by type history and center pivot and delete by freeze transformations, get it all clean, and then we want to send it out. So file, export selection, that's important, and we want to go into OBJ, export selection, right? And this will be battle axe high poly. Okay, that's OBJ. And then we're going to go file, save as, export selection. Again, we're going to do another one. This one's going to be FBX. FBX export. There we go. Export selection. And this will be battle axe. High poly. and FBX. Let's just highlight that so I don't have to keep typing that in. Control C, and then we go export. Okay, and then one more, and then export selection, and this will be MB file, right? Export selection, and Control V, Battle Axe, High Poly, export selection. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. So I've got all three file formats now ready to go, and I'll take the OBJ and bring it into Substance Painter. Okay, just like we did the food can. The low poly. Okay, here's the duplicate little high poly. Okay. So now that I did that, I combined it. It took it out of the layer. So I'm going to put this in its own layer now. Create my layer, the top layer here, and we'll call it Battle Axe. FIN. There we go. Finished. Save it. So there's my Battle Axe. Awesome. There it is. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is make sure that we clean everything up. So that's really super important, and we're going to do that in video 6, and I will see you there.